An insanity plea for Charleston shooter Dylann Roof will be a hard sell. We now know that he is a documented white supremacist, inspired by an organization whose rhetoric is becoming more and more mainstream. In a manifesto allegedly written by Roof that's now under investigation by the FBI, he says he chose to attack the Charleston community for its black history. He also says that he first became, quote, racially aware during George Zimmerman's trial over the killing of Trayvon Martin, and was led to the website of the Council of Conservative Citizens. It's a group with roots in pro-segregation movements of the 1950s and 60s, and it decries racial diversity. While it doesn't sport swastikas or pointy hats like other more recognizable hate groups, it does trot out the Confederate flag. And hateful language. The co-founder once called black people a retrograde species of humanity. Their newsletter often rails against black-on-white crime and believes in an endangered white race.
Everybody out here got cases and a real brain and real thug lives to match these thug records.
Like Snoop, Tupac was no stranger to trouble. He had grown up without a father, spent time behind bars, and found fame in rap. Tupac had a record deal, but Snoop thought he'd fit in well at death row.
I haven't seen a car in 50 miles.
You know what I just thought of, right?
Kenny and Darla,
You believe that story?
that they did go looking for her head.
They only found the car.
They never found her head.
What's he doing?
The hell is that? He dumped something down that pipe.
Wrapped in a sheet. Is this your idea of a little adventure?
I'm just gonna look.
You know the part in scary movies where somebody does something really stupid and everybody hates them for it? This is it.
Every 23rd spring, for 23 days, he gets to eat.
Eat.
What the hell is that thing?
It's stuck in reverse!
He must have 5, maybe 600 bodies down there.
You've got something it likes, one of you.
You think he's dead?
They never are.
Jeepers Creepers.
The revelation.
The shattered dreams of a broken
10 days.
heart.
If I died in 10 days.
What does it mean if I fall
10
apart?
If I died in 10 days.
Being tortured, screaming in the
If I died
dark
in
is
10
the guarantee to be a
died in 10
broken heart as I fall apart, fell apart. broken heart. Breaking mirrors to broken glass, picking up the pieces. Broken mirror, broken glass. My antithesis. Why didn't I see this coming true? If the devil himself in your bedroom, what would you do? Trying to sleep, but it's hard to sleep. I'm having visions of wicked men killing Christians, listening to politicians. So I grabbed a pen and started writing. Imagine fighting Count Dracula after seeing someone stabbing you in the face. Would you die for the human race, or would you escape? Just be trapped in a different place. The United States of America don't care if you're one of the poor. They much rather ignore. What am I fighting for? To bring war to the race. I hate this world we're living in. Feels like the Matrix. Please take this bloody game away from me, cause all I do is try to be the safe. See my broken heart, the shattered dreams of a broken heart.
If I died in 10 days,
what does it mean if I fall apart?
if I died in 10 days,
Being tortured, screaming in the dark is a guarantee to be a broken heart. A broken heart as I fall apart, fell apart. Broken heart.
In the 19th century in the United States, there were some slave revolts. And at the time, it was considered horrific. And the slaves that did that, most of the slaves didn't agree with them, and they were considered crazy because they would kill not just the slave master, sometimes they would kill innocent women and children. It's like, what's the point? They have nothing to do with it. And everyone condemned it. And you know, now we glorify it. We had like that movie Django Unchained. But at the time, they were considered nuts. There's something wrong with them. And I thought of that now as this reaction to this roof kid, and because everyone thinks he must be insane, right? That's everyone on the right was, oh, he must be mentally ill. I bet he's on psychiatric drugs, or hey, it probably didn't happen. It was crisis actors, or maybe the Jews manipulated him. I'm like, that's just so fucking dumb. Why must you deny reality? He wrote a manifesto. He spelled out clearly why he did this. He grew up very anti-racist. He was exposed, he lived with black people, and he had enough of them. He wanted some revenge, and so he took his revenge. And I know we think it's crazy, how does it help, you know, our people? But that'd be like asking the slave revolt. It doesn't make sense, but that's what he did. And people, they don't want to recognize that, because it's kind of like that Breivik character in Europe, Norway, remember? He killed 77 Marxists, and everyone's horrified. But the thing that surprised me at the time is I thought the left would really just destroy the nationalist movements in Europe, but the nationalist movements have grown. And the reason is because violence works. And that's why I always hear these people say, well, violence never works. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you think the United States came into being? You think we wrote essays about it and debated it? Hell no, we had a revolt, we had a fight. That's how we became the United States. We became independent through blood. How do you think slavery was ended? By writing debates? No, it happened through blood, the Civil War. Violence is usually what changes things. Even recently, like ISIS. I hate ISIS, and I'm not advocating violence, but when they do their attacks, or the Muslims do their attacks like they did in France, you know, the Charlie Hebrew, everyone's like, oh, this is so horrible, we're not going to give in to them. But then they all fucking give in. All the major networks now, they won't post a cartoon of Muhammad because they're fucking scared. They're not scared of Christians, but they're scared of Islam because they're scared of the violence. So violence does work. I mean, it's about the only thing that does work. So because he took this action, everyone is trying to disassociate themselves from him, saying, oh, well, he doesn't represent us, he must be mentally ill. And even the people on the left, they're kind of worried because they're like, well, this is a white guy. White guys are supposed to be pussies. They're not supposed to fight back. And so it's got everyone in a turmoil, but he is what he is. And I think it makes a lot of people on the right nervous because basically he wrote in his manifesto, well, you guys write a bunch of essays on the internet, but you aren't fucking doing anything. I mean, our people are being killed and you're not fucking doing anything. And I think it embarrasses a lot of people. And so I guess I'm describing how things are, that is, not how they ought to be. I'm a peaceful person. I like people of all races. Everyone should live peacefully. I condemn what this guy did. But, and I'm telling you kids that are maybe frustrated, if you're like Dylann, if you send me any emails advocating violence or anything like that, I'm just going to send it straight to the police. I'm serious, so don't do that. Random violence is not only immoral, it's stupid. And the book behind me, see, that's George Washington. He would have been considered a terrorist back then. But they didn't engage in random violence. They were soldiers. There's a big difference. I'm not saying violence doesn't solve things, it does, but you gotta go about it smart, not just going nuts and killing random people. That's stupid. Second, people on the left like Jon Stewart, you can suck my circumcised dick. I'm serious. I don't want to hear your boo-hooing about this. Meanwhile, you want me to bring up how you guys got your homeland? You remember the King David Hotel? Massacred 90 people in that terrorist attack. So let me hear you boo-hoo about that before you boo-hoo about what happened in this church, okay? If you're not willing to do that, fuck off, okay? Because you got your homeland through violence. That's typically how it happens. The third thing, the people on the right, quit being such fucking hypocrites. You know, the guy pretty much agreed in general what you agree with. Doesn't mean you agree with violence. But don't make excuses saying, oh, he doesn't represent us, he's mentally ill, he must be a virgin. That's just stupid. Be intellectually honest. For the media, you really need to look at it. What the kid wrote in his manifesto was a lot of truth in it. Why are you guys trying to cover up black on white crime? I know you try to get cute by saying we're teen and youth, but people know now. You can't hide it now. People can look on the internet and see what's really happening. People have their eyes, they can see what's happening in the real world. Quit trying to fucking cover it up. It just pisses people off. But be honest. If you want to have an honest conversation on race, you need to be honest about that subject.
A man in Greenwich Village, NYC, got knocked out after he went on a racist rant when he saw a black couple. So apparently he was on the street, he said the following, and I'm going to quote him verbatim because it's much more powerful that way. He says, "You niggers are why I lost my job." And then he goes on and on. There were a number of witnesses there that saw it happen, and they can vouch for the 25-year-old who punched the man in the face and then knocked him out. So
first of all, I just gotta say that if anytime somebody says, you black people, or whatever, even harsher, cost me my job, no they didn't. You're the kind of loser that cost yourself the job, guaranteed. Probably by saying stupid stuff like that, right? Can you imagine like he's the CEO of a company, or he's vying to be CEO of a company, and somehow he loses that, he's like, the N-word, they took my job. Really, they gave your CEO job to that guy? I mean, come on, it's so freaking stupid. But you know, look, there's something serious in this, right? This is exactly what people who espouse hatred want people to believe. Mm-hmm. Oh, they took your job. It's the black people. You know, Obama took all the money, he's taking your tax money, and he's giving it to black people who aren't working. You know that 47% of the country who's not working? It's black people. They're on welfare. Reagan did it all the way back in the day. And they're taking everything, including your job. So they get this guy riled up, and he goes in and he says this to a black guy. Did not end well.
It did not end well, so he did get knocked out. One witness who saw it happen said there was some sort of altercation, and it made the black guy punch the white guy in the face. He was out cold. I thought he was dead.
All right, now let's take a look at the picture. Gone! Gone! Knocked the fuck out. Okay. What I love is, like, this reminds me of Ted Nugent, like all those tough guys. Ah, you N-words, you're taking my job. What's long gone?
So, okay, I just want to quickly say two things. First of all, regardless of how racist he is and how terrible he is, you shouldn't fight that with violence, okay? Because now this 25-year-old Douglas Reddish has been arrested. He's going to face assault charges, and you don't win. You don't win. I get it, okay? I would be tremendously frustrated, and I would want to fight back, and I would want to get physical, especially me because I have a temper, right? But just don't do it. Don't do it, because you don't want to get in trouble because of this ass clown. Now, another thing I want to say is he was mad about the fact that he lost his job at Goldman Sachs, but he was.
Isn't that amazing? He worked at Goldman Sachs. Yeah, I know. They're giving all the jobs at Goldman Sachs to black guys.
I know. But another thing, I think that in reality, it has something to do with his wife, because his wife is leaving him too, and could his wife be leaving him for a black guy?
I don't know.
Because that makes more sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to ask him when he wakes up.
Come back.
Show me the picture one more time.
Me, nigga.
I have to confess, it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the picture.
Maybe you saw the press
but
conference.
Nonetheless, it was a bad idea.
Finally came out of hiding.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Has that guy woken up yet?